our heads in periodically during the relationship. We're doing a lot behind the scenes. But your main point of contact is going to be Phil, who actually just started with us Monday, which is very exciting, which is why he is a random avatar alias in this, because we don't have a headshot for him yet. But yeah, he's going to be your day-to-day point contact, leading your check-in calls. Anytime you have questions about RevBoss, how things are going, direct to Phil. We also have Katie on this call. She is our head copywriter, so she's responsible for all initial messaging drafts, rewrites, lots of stuff behind the scenes, but like having her on this first call just so that she can hear from you guys, kind of come up with strategy from the start. That's our CEO, Eric. We got to put his face in because he's the man that pays us all, but he's not really doing much nowadays, let's be real. Super nice guy, love him to death, but he probably will pop his head in. You might not see him. It's mainly going to be Zach and himself. Cool. This should answer your questions about kind of onboarding timeline. Good stuff here. So here's where we are right now. We're at the kickoff call, and our goal is to start sending emails kind of 10 to 14 days after this call. There's going to be one more call between now and sort of us sending, which is the messaging review call. Typically, we can condense everything down to this onboarding call and messaging. So today's goals are, like I mentioned, get information and direction around sort of the ops side and the strategy side. So strategy is who we're targeting, what we're saying, and then ops is, inboxes, we need suppression files from you, you got to set up your RevBoss account. So all those things we're working on over the next 7 days. We're going to reconvene in about a week's time. Next week's a little wonky with the holiday, and I know Zach and myself are kind of out a bit next week, but we'll get a messaging review call next week at some point. Phil will lead it. We'll present messaging, assuming everything looks good, we got thumbs up. We pack in a couple days for launch prep just to make sure we kind of dot all our I's and cross our T's. And then, like I said, 10 to 14 days. So, that puts us at probably not a next week start date, because then, a week from now will be Thursday. So we're probably looking for like 14th or 15th of the month is when we'll actually do it. Quick overview of the agreement that you guys signed. Should all look very familiar, but you guys are a month-to-month customer for us. What this prospect volume number means here is 800 a month, and we put in by month too. So a prospect delivered to us is somebody that has successfully received the first email and then either responded to that email or they follow up to receive the follow-up touch point that we have sort of in your cadence. So it's not the total number of emails that we're going to send out each month. It's going to be much more than that, but every time we successfully receive the first email, we're not counting bounced emails or anything like that. That's going to be a prospect count. We put in by month 2 because the first month we're ramping up. It's going to take a couple weeks for us to just, gradually get the inboxes to a good spot where we can send enough volume to be on pace to hit 800 a month. So we'll hit that number in month 2. First month we won't hit it, but what we're going to do is over deliver. Month 2, month 3 we'll send it to the prospects so we can kind of cover up for that early sending. Billing there, $2,500 a month. You have to pay via credit card. I've got a couple other add-ons here I always like to throw out just for you to consider. So what we do for email, we can do for LinkedIn. We would use a Sales Navigator account from someone on your team and send out what we call a connector campaign. Basically, that means we send out a bunch of connection requests to second, third degree connections. If they do accept it, then we can enter them into like an automated messaging flow. Very similar pitch and message that we'll be doing in email. Usually it's a little more condensed. This does pretty well.
What's the price on that?
$600 a month for 1,000 connection requests. So it's pretty cheap. And like I said, most of the strategy we're developing for the email side of things, so it's kind of just take what we're doing here and just do it through the channel. There's a few different ways you can search prospects in LinkedIn, which is nice. We can run different types of campaigns that we can do in email. And like I said, it does well. We don't really have sort of stats on it because we just started doing it about 2 months ago, but every customer that's doing it is usually converting about the same or close to double what their sort of lead rate positive response activity is for the email campaign. So again, $600 a month, pretty cheap. Sometimes we can do a pilot too if you guys just want to test it out, but we don't have to talk about that right now. If you like what we're doing via email, we can do more of it. So 800 a month is where we like to start everyone, but we can do 12 or 1600 pretty easily. Just bump up the volume there. And then we can also do some meeting booking if you guys need help getting these positive responses onto your calendar. We can do a bit of that. We don't do as much of it now. Most of the people we bring on have kind of a function for it, so it's not necessary, but just cool. Now we can talk relationship stuff. So we've been doing this a long time, and looking back at all of our customers, we've identified these 4 pillars here as the most important things when working with all of our clients. So it starts with participation, and a lot of this is during sort of the onboarding process here. So, we're going to need a lot of approval for messaging. We're going to need help getting process stuff set up, like email inboxes and suppression. There's going to be a lot of interaction between us over the next sort of week or two here. So the sooner we can get that info kind of turned back around, the better things are going to go. Once we start sending, it's all about communication. We're going to be monitoring campaign activity, monitoring success metrics all day, every day. As we're forwarding that over to you, we kind of need your feedback on how it's going. Are these companies we're targeting the right fit? Are the conversations you're having with people that say they're interested in progressing, are we learning anything from them? That's going to let us make the adjustments we need to, sort of top of funnel with what we're saying, who we're targeting, to get you better results. Because we usually don't hit it 100% right off the bat. There's always room to improve these sort of campaigns. So the more you can kind of keep us in the loop of how things are on your end, the more we can fix things on our end.
Let me ask a quick question.
Yeah.
Phil, do we set up a weekly call with you, or how's that communication work? Ad hoc?
Yep, so you and Phil will have weekly calls for the first month. Usually they're going to be about 15 minutes because the first month's lower activity, like I mentioned, we're ramping up, so there's not as much to talk about. After a month, you guys are going to convert over to a bi-weekly call, which is what we have standard for all of our clients. We just found 2 weeks of activity is appropriate. There's enough for us to discuss and kind of make changes. We also don't like rocking the boat too much. If you try and make changes every week, you're not really learning anything. So yeah, weekly touch points for the first month, bi-weekly.
Okay.
Cool. Third point here, sales hunger. I like putting this in because we have a lot of clients that have a sales function. We have a lot of clients that don't have a sales function. They have no sales people. They've never done it before. So it goes a long way to follow up with these emails we're sending you, multiple times. I recommend 3 follow-ups, typically not 3, every day, or 3 in sequential days. But follow up once, follow up again in 2 days, follow up again in a week. And don't be afraid to pick up the phone if you see a phone number in your signature. That stuff works. And the last pillar here is trust. So like I said, we've been doing this a long time. We kind of have our best practice strategy to work with clients that are similar to you. We work with clients that are much, much different, but they all point us in directions for things we should be doing and trying, and we're going to recommend things to you that you might not think about or might not feel as comfortable with. We want you to trust us, that we kind of know what we're talking about. At the same point, we're also going to trust you guys if you have experience targeting a vertical or just know that's not what you want for your business, and that's fine. Like, no questions asked. We trust you guys. We trust us. Cool. Quick day in the life slide here. So, once we get going, we're going to be sending a lot of targeted, personalized emails out to these prospects, which is going to generate activity. So the activity is going to be email replies. What it will look like is, email forward is going to land in your actual inbox. So you're not going to have to go in and monitor the inboxes we're sending from, or filter through out of office replies, things like that. We're just going to manually forward you over the activity we want your eyes on, and then it's up to you guys to respond to that thread, typically just from your inbox. So hit reply, there will be a forwarded message block. You can just delete all that. You can copy and paste the prospect's email into the to field so it's sent to the prospect and not back to us, and then just pick up the conversation from there. That's what we do for everyone, and it seems to be kind of the cleanest transition, and it doesn't look awkward, if you're responding back from a different email than the person we're sending out as, if that has a different issue. And again, some more tips. It's the same things I was talking about with sales hunger. Just, respond as quickly as you can. We're going to forward you over activity. We'll be monitoring it Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 Eastern. Those are our business hours. So, we're sending you stuff over. As soon as you can get to it, make it a priority. Take a couple minutes, though, if you want to do a little prospect research, like shared interests or like a tidbit of, hey, I worked at this company too, or I saw you were here, I went to this school too. Anything like that goes a long way. And I'll say it again, don't be afraid to pick up the phone if there's a phone number. Cool. Now I'm talking a lot, almost done here. Another sort of graph to kind of visualize what like our ramp up period looks like. So right now we're in the onboarding phase here. Our goal is to be sending emails out from 14 days from now, which will hit us into the ramp up phase. So that's when, we're trying to build reputation and engagement for these inboxes. So the goal isn't really getting you replies, getting you leads. The goal is making sure these inboxes don't take and send spam filters all the time. So we gradually ramp you up slowly and surely. You'll start getting some replies. You might even get your first lead during that period. Once we're fully ramped up, then we're into what we call the iterate phase. So, we have activity. What are we learning from it? What is the data telling us? Can we make some strategic pivots at this point around messaging or targeting? All this is expected. We will work through it, and then the goal is to get into kind of accelerating pipeline development where I feel good about our target. We just have to go out and get you guys more. Things will really start to ramp up, and this orange graph here kind of represents like an exponential value of outbound campaigns in general. So the replies and leads we're generating for you early on in the campaign are going to work through your sales pipeline and become much more valuable 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the road. I don't know how long your typical sales cycle is, but don't expect anything we pass over to sort of close right away or be an opportunity right away. But as we continue doing this, we'll keep building stuff for you guys to work on. Hopefully it'll start falling down your pipeline and becoming real opportunities. More and more of it will be coming as we keep going. So that's why things really kind of become much more valuable from our end, at least once we get kind of 3 months. I say all this, and this graph looks super nice because it goes up and to the right.